Kim Botto with me today. I'm so excited. I don't want to jump too far ahead because she's got a topic I can't wait for you all to hear about. But Kim, would you just introduce yourself to everybody so they know exactly who you are?
Sure. Well, first, I said this to Anne before we got on. Anne, thank you for the work that you're doing, making these training and resources available to people, some people who can't afford, they don't have the financial means to do it. So
Right.
thank you. Rock on, sister. Um, so I am Kim Botto. I'm a wife of one. I have 5 kids and 10 grandkids, and they all live in town, which is amazing. 3 of my
Oh, that's
kids are
wonderful.
married. And I actually started out in the business world. I have an MBA in finance. I thought I was a banker, and then God got a hold of me and realized that throughout my life, I had been interested particularly in kids who did not fit in,
Mm.
had trouble in all kinds of different environments. And so I went into ministry and I served in kids and student ministry for decades. The last role that I had was for 16 years at a very large, one of the largest and fastest growing churches in the nation. We had 11 sites. And the really cool thing about that was that we had rural sites, urban sites, middle class neighborhood. We had some sites that would have 20 kids a weekend, some sites would have thousands of kids a weekend. So it
Wow.
gave me tons of just training, on the
Yeah.
ground training in kids. And my passion, I'll say, what I want to do is I want to ignite hope in
Yes.
people for every kid,
Yes. I love it.
especially the most disruptive, the one who has the most challenging behavior, because most times the reason they're behaving in that way is because they have an unmet need. They've
Mhm.
had trauma in their life. Maybe they have um, special needs or disabilities, many of which are invisible. Most
Right.
now, 1 out of 36 kids are diagnosed with autism, and they don't come in with something on their forehead that says autism, but they might scream during large group because it's too sensory overloading for them.
Overloading.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's my story. And I will say, I know people will
Mhm.
say, oh, yeah, but all these strategies, I can't do that. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And we trained literally thousands of volunteers
Mhm.
on how to respond differently. And it changed, volunteers would go home and say, it's changing the way I'm interacting with my own kids. It's changing the way I'm interacting with my spouse.
All
So
right.
my passion is equipping churches, and I also work with schools and other organizations, but equipping them to provide safe, welcoming, and fun environments for every single kid, no matter what their background, unique need, energy level, and we can do that.
I love it. And I don't know if you know, in fact, those of you watching, if you're brand new to Bible Creative, you may not know that. But for our long timers who've been here with Bible Creative for a while, no, I think it was 2 years ago, one of our keynotes was blind herself. And so she talked about meeting the needs of special needs children in our classrooms. And then we had some other people who brought in their expertise with autism and those types of things. So it's just been so fun to watch how God has created the speaking team, because when I invited you, I was like, yes, we need somebody else now to help with just the differences that, because I want so much want our Bible teachers to be prepared to reach whomever God crosses their path with. Like any kid that walks into our classroom, we need to be able to share the gospel with in
Right,
some way, shape, or form. And
right.
so I'm so excited that you're going to be joining us. So, what specifically are you going to be going over? I mean, don't give us all the details, but
Right, right.
what's your session going to be on?
Well, it's entitled New Strategies for Responding to Challenging Behavior,
Mm.
because we've all had kids that maybe we shed a tear, but it's tears of joy when they don't come. Because when they come, the disruption level and energy level goes up. And I have found that, and I used to be like this too. I wanted to fix the kid. I wanted
Mm.
to change the kid so they would then behave in the manner in which I thought that they should. And what I've come to realize is the change has got to come from within me.
Right.
My heart has to change towards this child, because if I'm looking at this kid as a disruptive kid, I'm going to respond to him in a different way than if I look at this child as, oh, this kid's having a hard time. I need to figure out like what are his needs and how can I make this environment better for him? Because we can have the best curriculum. We can have A++ presenters, wonderful small group leaders. And if kids don't feel safe and loved in the environment, they're not gonna hear the hope that we're giving
No.
them that they're not gonna get anywhere else. So that's what I'm fired up about. So we'll talk about a couple new strategies. We'll talk about first a little bit about ourselves,
Yeah.
and then some specific strategies that we can share with volunteers this weekend on how to respond to challenging behavior in healthy and helpful ways.
Oh, I love it. I am just so excited about the strategies you're going to be bringing, because that's I just even looking at the classroom that I am a part of, and I'm only in there once a month, but I see things and I hear things and I'm like, oh, I need to figure out how to reach that kid, or I need to figure out how to communicate with this person, this small group leader, to be able to help better with this group. And so I even I mean, I've been in the classroom for years, but I still either need a refresher sometimes or just to hear what's new, because there's kids today dealing with things that I never had to deal with as a teacher in the classroom
Right.
when I was there. And so one of the things that I always try to get across to Bible teachers is that we're never too old to learn new things to put in our
Right.
classroom. No matter how many years we've been in the classroom, we can still learn new things. And so I'm so excited to have you as a part. Okay, so here's the part of our fun videos where we get to share your go-to teaching strategy or a Bible teaching tip. What is something that you can share with those who are watching today?
Okay. I don't know if that's my go-to, but this is something that I was thinking about today because it's something I experienced recently. And that's when we have kids come into our environment on the weekend, assume that there's a brand new kid who has never been there before. Even though we know every single kid, we know what car their parent drives, everything. Assume they've never been there before, because when we do that, we are going to give clearer expectations. We are going to
Mm,
give reminders on what's coming next. Because so often kids are not doing what we want them to do because we really haven't clearly communicated the expectations. We may
expectations.
think
Yeah.
we have, but if we're saying it and nobody's doing it, well, then the problem is probably us, not
Right.
the kids. So I think that's helpful for the volunteers in the room. It's helpful for the kids to have standard schedules that you go through.
Mhm.
Um, Surprises are great, but some children, it makes them feel very unsafe. So
Right.
we can still have new and fun and different things, but do it in a way that doesn't make a kid feel afraid.
Oh, I love that. So Kim, thank you so much for
Welcome,
joining us
Ann.
today.
Welcome.
And I can't wait for it. We've got just a let's see, today's the 8th. So we've got about a week and a half until the conference. So those of you who are watching, if you don't have your free ticket yet, we please, I just for this one session alone, get your free ticket so that you can come and hear Kim and grab some wonderful strategies that you can implement, like practical things that you can put in place the next time you teach. And so come join us. Kim, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Ann. Thank you. See you
Bye,
guys in a week and
everybody.
a half. Bye.